Hi everybody. Let's talk about some of the background buildings that I've been talking about. I'm going to put against the backdrop. So the first building I've been working on, I actually started when I was in Missouri, is this one right here. It's one of the car shop buildings. This one and this one, this little extension, are the only buildings left out of everything you see here. And they've been repurposed. I started on this one. Use Google Earth. I know it's 80 feet this way. Depth doesn't matter because I don't have that much room. I've only got like 2.5 inches to the backdrop. Now, as you see, this is the main line coming down through here. So all these buildings are off at an angle, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, well, these buildings were torn down. I'm going to move these two buildings up next to the main line and put them parallel to the main line for my backdrop. And then again, of course, the roundhouse and stuff is going to be down there. And I'll build these buildings here too. They were there after 1971. In the 60s is when they tore all this stuff down. They left just a few things standing. I'm going to talk about this building here right now and some of the challenges and the having modeling it. Greg Borgwald took this picture in 2009. Of course, they'd been repurposed. At this point, they've been shut down for, 30 years or so. The building on the left is the one I started on, and as always, most places in Chillicothe, you can see the paper company smokestack sticking up above there in the haze. So the windows are very tall and thin, narrow, I guess you'd say, with a slight arch at the top. There are 3 groups of 3, so I don't know if the gaps between on each group of 3, or like there was a big crane in there, I don't know, whatever. But there's 3, then there's a wider spot, then there's 3 and wider spot, and 3 and a wider spot. Sort of goofed up a little bit because Google Earth shows you the roof. So I said that the roof was 80 feet. I should have made the building like 72 feet or 76 feet, accounting for the overhangs on the roof. I didn't. I made the building 80 feet. So the roof is actually going to be like 88 feet. This zoom in sort of shows the shallow arches. I guess what I call them, dome. Whatever. I could not find any windows like that I could buy. I could find plenty with a big high dome, but so I chose some square windows. But I think I've come up with a way to make them sort of disguise it a little. Here's a side view of the building in 2009. Looks like they had 3 windows, a man door with a skylight over the top of it, or then 6 windows, another big tall man door, and 3 more windows on this end. The sliding door was put in after the railroad gave it up. Also notice all the roof supports along the top edge, which I decided to try to model. But I'm going to model windows. I'm not going to block them all up as concrete blocks. That happened after the railroad gave it up. Another neat detail is the brick work around the big doors. This is on the transfer table side of it. So I wanted to try to duplicate that a little bit. Obviously, I can't do it exactly like it is, but I'll show you how I tried to at least simulate it to make it look like it's there. So the brick work around the doors on the real building were like vertical. They curved around the arch. I couldn't do that, didn't know any way to even remotely do that. So I just cut out some of that N-Scale Architect brick sheet is really thin. So I just cut it out around the door and glued it on. I think it looks pretty good. It gives the effect of of standing out from the building anyhow. And it's not a foreground building. So the picture I just showed you was one I took in 1985 after it was shut down. And obviously they closed all these doors. This is actually car shop number 2. The larger one, which I'll model later, is car shop number 1. I decided to go ahead and duplicate this with, that it's out of business. The pictures I took in 85 looked like the transfer table hadn't run for a long, long time. It was all overgrown with weeds and stuff. And I know you guys get tired of me hearing this, but digital cameras today, you could walk around the place and take 1,000 pictures. As it was, I probably had like a roll of film That's all I took, and I just kicked myself over and over for not taking more pictures. But I never thought I'd model it someday. It's just it's going to go against the backdrop. It's just a shell of a building. So I do have the roof supports in. Over here I've got 3 windows, a gap, 3 windows and a gap. Don't know why. I do not have the arch supports done yet. I'm still hoping to try to figure out a way to do that. Another thing I don't have is N-Scale Architect has a random stone sheets. I've ordered it. I ordered it like day after Thanksgiving, but it just now shipped, and I just wanted to go ahead and post this video. So that'll be the foundation. So I don't have the foundation yet. And on this side, this is the side that I had in the picture. So it actually had 3 doors, and it had like a man door, then 3 windows, a man door, 6 windows. Don't have the depth. If I had gone just a little bit farther, had a little bit more room, I could have modeled the man door, but I just don't have the room to do it. The brickwork is N-Scale Architect. It's sandwiched over normal styrene. Shingles are N-Scale Architect. There's nothing on the roof of this thing. At least there wasn't then. I mean, there's no pipes, stacks, nothing. It's just a big old flat roof. Anyhow, so this is going to sit back. See if I can get into it here. Back here, I don't have the exact location figured out yet. Whoops, sorry. And the other car shop building will be about behind that paint bottle, and the transfer table will be in between them. So you can see in relationship to where the roundhouse is. I pulled the turntable out because I just reach over it and I bump it all the time. So I just got it sitting out on the layout right now. I don't want to break off that arch over top of it. Okay, so I'm working on one of the other background buildings right now, not car shop number 1. I'm working on one of the other buildings. It's going to go over behind wherever on the curve. And so as soon as I get that done, I will let you know. And if anyone wants, like I did a tutorial about how I made, this warehouse. So I don't really feel like I need to do a tutorial on how to scratch build stuff in styrene. So that's why I haven't done it. But if anyone wants to know any of the techniques or how to do it, just put it in the comments and I'll try to answer your questions. So I'm healing up, getting better all the time, but still I can't stand long enough to really run my trains. But try to cobble something together. I will have an operating video this Saturday, but then I'm out of the videos I pre-filmed, so we'll have to see what I can come up with for the next one. Hopefully I'll try to cobble something together for the next weekend. All right, everybody stay safe.